Thanks. I couldn't have a better introduction. It's my pleasure and an honor to be here. Actually, 15 years ago, I wouldn't imagine that I will be standing and talking about something that comes from neural networks, math, and so on, because I was sitting, in those chairs in Prague, in CTU. I was listening to Michal Pechouček, one of the greatest AI persons in the Czech Republic, and I was saying, oh, what this guy is talking about. I couldn't imagine that it will be so relevant for me 15 years later. And I think I see here many students as well on the corridors, and I think this is very important to understand. Maybe it's not interesting today, but it might be interesting tomorrow. So have a look at it, get into the topic, even though it might not be interesting because there are so many cool people in the university that know the business very well. And I would like to talk about business today. So we have seen a lot of, let's say, theoretical presentations. We have seen presentation going with the math. I will have only a few numbers, I promise, today. And the rest of my presentation is having a look how we can apply GenAI and maybe some of the open source technologies within business platforms. And I'm a guy who is working in the ServiceNow industry for the last 12 years. And I've been dealing with a lot of integrations, working for bigger, smaller clients all around Europe, as well in the US. And I'm happy to basically share what we do in reality in ServiceNow business at Accenture. So Tomáš in the morning was saying that we have roughly 2.5 billion of sales in the GenAI in last fiscal year, and we are definitely going to rock this year as well. And I'm going to show you a couple of millions what we did in the ServiceNow area. So what is ServiceNow? How many of you, if you can raise your hand please, how many of you have seen ServiceNow, has worked in ServiceNow? I expect all these colleagues here. Okay. All the Accenture people, good, thank you very much. What is ServiceNow? ServiceNow is a big platform that started originally as a workflow platform. So back in 2005, a guy called Vladimir, he said, okay, I would like to build this great workflow platform. So he did it. And he didn't sell it to any single person because nobody wanted a platform that just orchestrates workflow. Nobody really needed it. So then he thought, okay, I'll probably need to build it with something practical. So he built something that we called IT service management, so a ticketing tool on top of it, and he started selling it. 15, 20 years later, this platform is worth 250 billion on the stock market, and that guy that was broke, almost 20 years ago, is now a multi-billionaire, and he's a great guy. So the platform is really built on top of the workflow automation, and it's a platform that helps us implement processes within business organizations, medium-sized, large organizations. Roughly 95% of the world's biggest organizations have it already implemented or are on the way of implementing ServiceNow. What we do with those implementations, we implement a ticketing tool for IT service management, for customer tickets, and as well for HR tickets. But as well, we use it for very scary situations. So some examples that we use ServiceNow for was that we were, let's say, tracking diseases for local government in the platform and having a tickets stored there. Or I know that some of the companies that are presenting next to Accenture are using the platform for orchestrating full delivery of medical devices to the hospitals. So it's very important, and it's as well is a core of the business. What the platform is technically about is, and this is where I would like to come closer to the original idea of OpenSlava, is about open source. And the platform is not all about the open source, but it is built on top of, let's say, normal technologies that we know. So it's built on Java, it's built on MariaDB, previously MySQL or PostgreSQL, and it's basically Java-based application, but on a large scale. You have one big database, you have dozens of application nodes running on top of the database that are supporting the flows. Where the open source come into play, It comes, let's say that there is like more than 3,000 of libraries, open source libraries that the platform is using. It's having how many? 136 different license models applied. So I was just reading through. It's like 170 pages document just to describe how much open source this platform is using. Good. What does it do? So I'm going to read the slides completely by the end of the session, so hopefully you will enjoy that. Not really. This is all the elements, all the capabilities that the platform is providing to the companies and end users. So there is an area of customer service, there is a area responsible for technology, there is an area responsible for employee engagement, and as well the individual application development. And one of the core services that we see below is dedicated to AI intelligence and generative AI. And this is what I would like to focus on. So what ServiceNow is doing in the area of generative AI or AI? I think the path has started roughly 10 years ago, when the company sees, okay, there is something going on in the area of artificial intelligence, and they've started to invest. And they invest by acquiring companies that were initially like scary. Why do we need to buy this company? Why is it for? And they were trying to build their capability and build it into their platform so that they can grow. Because ServiceNow is all about innovation. They know if they don't innovate, they will simply die within a few years. So they have been acquiring the companies as they go. They were acquiring the knowledge and the capability to build AI in the platform. And if I talk about AI, I don't talk about just GenAI, but there are multiple AI capabilities that are part of the platform. It's an NLU, natural language understanding. It's a predictive intelligence, knowing what happens next based on the old data. There's document intelligence, scanning through documents, understanding the written text, written form. There is a task intelligence, and there is something that ServiceNow called Now Assist. Now Assist is GenAI within ServiceNow. So in order to run GenAI, they need large language model, LLM. And they realized, ServiceNow realized that they can build their own large language model, which are very domain specific. So they will be using models provided by Hugging Face or built on top of the NVIDIA, and create models that are very specific and custom built for individual purposes in the IT, technology, in the customer service capabilities. But what they saw is that there are companies who are investing as well using LLMs from hyperscalers, from Microsoft, from Google, from Amazon. So they said, okay, we will not provide only our own large language model, but our capabilities need to be flexible enough to allow the selection of a large language model of your choice, of the customer's choice. So this is the ServiceNow GenAI strategy that I think is very important as well for you. Maybe you will be developing your own platform, you will be developing your own tool, and it's important to not to stick to one provider, but be flexible, to allow flexibility in configuration. So what are the real capabilities? So what is the real business? We have seen in the previous sessions hacking of the GenAI, hacking of the LLM, but I wanted to provide and bring on the real use cases that are already live on the platform. We have real customers using the GenAI capabilities, and these capabilities are the following. So in the IT, let's say there are two main prompts that are used across basically all the different areas, which is summarization, text summarization in principle, be it in the incidents or being in the request areas, and there is a capability of content creation, because it's very important to, when there is an issue in your IT service, something happens, something goes wrong, that you take the lessons learned so it doesn't repeat again. And for that, we have a process that is then creating content out of these issues that is helping us to resolve the incidents, the issues faster next time they occur. Similarly, this is going through the customer service area. So imagine you have your company is, for example, Siemens Healthineers, one of the presenters here. They might use ServiceNow for example, for their customer service management, dealing issues with their customers, and they want to make sure that their customers feel treated right, well, and fast enough. And this is where GenAI can really greatly help by providing the options to summarize case, even propose solutions, and help the agent to resolve issues faster. In the HR area, we have seen as well a lot of examples of implementing the prompts in the area of Q&As. So how many days of vacation is still left for me, and many things like that. And this is an area which has a biggest growing potential, because we see that that GenAI can really bring the right answers in the right place in a fast manner. And last but not least, I was telling that ServiceNow is a platform, is not just a ticketing tool. And this platform is used to build new applications completely from scratch. So if I have a chance, I would be okay to build an application as for eShop or eMall. I would be okay to build any application that needs to follow a certain process on top of ServiceNow. And what ServiceNow did is they brought a large language model, their capabilities into the platform, so that you can build the apps faster. I don't have a budget for a couple of millions of dollars, unfortunately, so I cannot bring, let's say, this example, but I'll tell you what happened this May. They brought a whiteboard to the stage in front of 20,000 people. And on the whiteboard, there was a handwritten process. They took a photo of this process and then said, ServiceNow, please generate me an app. And it really, within 3-4 minutes, the app was generated and was able to run it, and they were able to show it in front of the 20,000 people on the stage, which was a pretty cool and amazing experience. So it's not just, let's say, fulfilling the process related, but as well build new stuff. And this is what we will see more and more. Next to the classical prompts, we also see that the AI capabilities are used in the search area, so how to find the information faster and in a more reliable way. And this is as well throughout the platform. So what's coming next? I think what is important to understand that ServiceNow has a roadmap coming. So we are in the middle of Q3. In the Q4, there will be a lot of new stuff happening. As I said, ServiceNow is one of the most innovative companies on the planet, as well named by Forbes magazine 2 years ago. And what we see, they are investing a lot in building, let's say, this automation platform, automation tool on top of it. And they are not stopping, let's say, with the simple prompts, but moving forward, which is cool. However, it took a time to get to that phase, to that stage. And in the meantime, as Accenture, we have been approached by customers asking us, hey, we want to do something in GenAI already last year. And the platform was not yet at the level. So we were thinking, okay, what can we do? Do we have a large language model that we can use from our own? Not really, but there are hyperscalers, and they are pretty cool. So we said, okay, we can leverage the hyperscaler capabilities to help us create value for our customers faster than ServiceNow itself. So we said, okay, let's go and build some prompt engineering app and see how does it work. So we did it. So we created an app on top of the platform using the GenAI capabilities. And the reason why I'm just showing this up is we have started early by building the practice, gaining the knowledge, gaining the capabilities, and then helped us be advanced later on when ServiceNow came with the full functionality, as well with when our competition came in. So we build quite simple prompts. We build quite simple use cases. First of all, we said, okay, in the platform, we have a lot of data that might be useful. We call this data knowledge articles that we store in knowledge base. We had tickets stored in various of our processes. We offloaded this data to the vector database on Azure typically, and we were able to perform a vector search on top of it. And using a ServiceNow UI, which is called Workspace, we were then able to provide predefined prompts to our users, or to the users of the platform, and doing a content retrieval and sending into a large language model to generate answers. And it was cool, because suddenly we were able to show the value to our customers that we are able to automate, let's say, the process end-to-end and bring in the capabilities like speed and bringing as well the attribute of quality. Because you know what, when humans are answering manually to questions, the answer is not that precise as a large language model can do, at least on the large scale. This is what we can see. So even building, let's say, a very simple solution that took us a couple of weeks initially to build and show and prove of the value, we were able to, put our foot into the door of our customers, open the door a bit, and then show what we can do. What I wanted to bring on is as well the guiding principles that we have used right from the beginning. So, because what we have seen in all the large language models is that whenever you try to embed it into a flow, somehow you need coding skills. So you need pretty much experienced people or people that are not available, developers who are not there available right away when you need it. So we try to build our solution with as less coding as possible. We try to go into a no-coding experience for process experts, so there is no single JavaScript that those guys need to write in order to make our application to work, which I think is we have a great advantage compared even to the ServiceNow platform, because there you still need a lot of coding skills to make it work in a good way. As well, what was key for us, for our users and for our customers, is that we show them transparently what the LLM is just doing. We were working with the other tools. We have seen that you click a button, something happens, and something else pops up. It was very difficult for the users to understand what's really happening. So the guiding principle for us was, okay, we need to make it as transparent as possible, as well the configuration as simple as possible, so that they understand what's happening. And we are building a trust from those users. So it's all about the user experience. As well, what we have seen is we cannot, and this is what I was already talking about, is we cannot just stick to one LLM provider. And not even one LLM provider, even to one LLM large language model, because the models are really fit for purpose sometimes. And we need to provide a way how the customers can take their own technology stack of their choice, so that they can leverage really what they have. It can be due to security reasons. It can be due to fit for purpose. So they are building their own knowledge bases, not from one system, but from multiple systems all over the enterprise. And they need to have all the data available in one place to provide the most correct answers. It is like the senior guy who is there in the company from day one. But the good thing is he will never, or that person will never retire. This is what they expect from LLM. And we want to as well make sure whenever we are deploying GenAI and LLM in our customers, that we follow the security and responsible AI principles from day one. Branyo, before on the presentation, was presenting how to hack GenAI. And that's something we need to prevent, definitely, in our use case, or we try to prevent. So we need to make sure that the data that is being sent back and forward is not leaving the safe space where it's designed to exist. So this brought us, let's say, to a couple of guiding principles that we need to have in place. And why I brought this in is maybe that might be interesting for your large language models, or maybe for your projects, that you know where to start or what to take care of. It's not just coding, make a widget, have it running, and ChatGPT go on. It's really about all the aspects that you need to consider to have it really productive and available for your customers. Because in the end, they will ensure your future. Okay, what we have built on top is as similar to ServiceNow story. Okay, we have built this prompt engineering app, but the app itself will be useless without the content. So we try to provide a content library for all the areas that I have shown as verticals, like technology stack, HR stack, customer service stack. And we have started to build the different use cases, different prompts, and it was really simple scenarios like, please help me resolve this issue, to more complex scenarios. Please evaluate the data from one place, combine it from the information from yesterday, and tell me what to do now when there are customers screaming. So we need to really combine data from multiple sources. And all these prompts we've built into a library that we were then accompanying with our application. The idea was behind, we know ServiceNow will catch up, let's say, in terms of functionality of our app. But what they will not catch up easily is the content that is co-created with our customers. So they told us, these are our pain points, that's what we need, and we try to, let's say, put it in an abstract layer. So we've created those content packs, and even though ServiceNow will come up with their skill kit application and with new capabilities, we are sure that, let's say, we are still of added value because we have the content available there. Super. One real example. There is a pretty large company. It's a global software company based in Europe, where we have deployed our application. It's almost a year now. And we have deployed initially to 30 users, then 300 users. And as of today, there is more than 12,000 users, 12,000 of employees of that company using our prompt engineering application and running a day-to-day flow there. We are as well, we have started with very simple use cases. Just get something out and rolling, summarization, knowledge content creation, getting information from various sources, the AI search. And we have deployed this application and continually been developing this since then in a couple of phases. And nowadays, we can say that on a daily basis, the application is used by like 4,000 times at least. So we have the metrics and see, okay, there are at least 4,000 people which every day use this application to make their work more proficient. That's cool. But what is as well important is to gather feedback, how they use it, and as well how happy they are. And so there we are as well gathering a feedback as they go, and we see that around 82% of them is satisfied, is saying, okay, this is for me very useful to use this because it saves my time or brings information that I wasn't aware before. It basically helps me to improve my internal or my external customer service. So this is what we are really proud of, as well working with the client. We have a very great relationship with, and we hope to continue that. The client uses their platform for customer service management, so the outcome of it is directly impacting the customer perception of that client, which means as well their potential revenue. And the vision of the company is completely transform the customer and product support by using the GenAI capabilities, which means basically they are not going into the direct answering of the query, customer queries by the GenAI agents in the phase 1, but maybe in the phase 4, 5, 6, they are more going into the direction. What is important, was very important for the customer, is one principle that I haven't mentioned, but has been repeated a couple of times today, and this is human in the loop. Who from you knows what is human in the loop, please? Human in the loop. Okay, one person. Good. Human in the loop means that any outcome generated by GenAI needs to be reviewed by a human person, by a human being. We cannot hand over the responsibility of the outcome of work to GenAI itself yet. we need to involve a human person that will be responsible for the answers generated by GenAI. Cool. So what were the lessons learned during the implementations of various GenAI projects? Besides the technical stuff, we realized we need a new person that is not on the market. Where do we find them? And that person is called prompt engineer. We were looking into recruitment team, saying, hey, we need prompt engineers. Whom? I have never heard this before. And so we need to as well make sure that we are defining or we are searching for the right profiles of people. This is a new role that has been basically developed throughout 1.5 years, last year. And basically every one of us here is a prompt engineer. Whoever uses ChatGPT, you are a prompt engineer. You are just not yet fully skilled, let's say, to a proficiency level that we would expect. But we can train you. That's not a problem. As well, we saw that we need multidiscipline roles. So it's not like only developers or to domain experts in our projects, but we need a person, for example, from the large language model provider configuration, namely Azure experts. We need really to connect multiple people to get the job done. So it's not simple to just have one or two persons to run the project, but you really need to have a couple of persons in the project. As well, from a security standpoint, if you are working for a big customer, security is a key, and therefore you need to involve as well people with different skills and knowledge and capabilities. Designing an app on GenAI requires user experience considerations right from the beginning. What do I mean by that is LLM queries, vector search provides information back, queries another data, provides back. That takes seconds. If the user doesn't see some response from the UI within 2 seconds, something is wrong. So you need to manage the expectations with the user and provide a timely feedback and design the application in an asynchronous way, in a way that the user is understanding what's happening. Set the expectations right. One small trick is, for example, that we realized as we went is that with one of the queries, one of the prompts took like 40 seconds to answer, which is a very long time. You know, nobody wants to wait 40 seconds. But we said we've provided information on the page, and the users were pretty satisfied. We've provided information. Average waiting time from last three prompts is like 45 seconds. And the users, okay, good. So I can maybe answer one more email. So they were not angry at us and the platform, and they still were able to accept, let's say, the outcome what was brought back. So what I mean is consider user experience right from the beginning when you design an app. Don't underestimate it, because it's not just about technical aspect, but as well it's which value does it bring to the users. Security is of a key, have to be included, and sometimes it takes longer to go through the security process within companies than the implementation itself. It was funny, we started in December, we were ready in January with our app, but we waited until March until we got okay from a security that we can go forward. So really we need to involve security teams right from the beginning. And last but not least is there is large language model providers. The list of them is expanding. So every day you hear something new. You have to count with the fact that there will be very specific, domain-specific large language model providers. Just count on, they will be great in a very, let's say, niche skills, niche area, and you should leverage that. But you have to be ready to evaluate these LLMs and to these results of the queries to each other. So this is what we see is coming next, is how do we increase the quality of the LLMs by comparing the results, preparing for that, and selecting the large language providers that fit for the purpose. Cool. Thank you very much.
Vladimir, thank you very much. They're still awake, so that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we're going to dive straight into the questions. Thank you so much for everybody who entered the Slido. Do you have any feedback from customers and how far the application of GenAI in ServiceNow helped to increase the customer satisfaction or experience?
We do. I was briefly mentioning the numbers. So at one of the largest customers, we see that the application is used many thousands times a day. So there are really thousands queries per day. And the overall satisfactions with the outcomes is 82%. So that's what I mentioned. So, and there are smaller customers where we see as well that they appreciate the generation of the knowledge-based articles, generating email answers that it's easier for them. Let's say just to say, okay, just send it, and it's very easy.
Okay, I assume it's ServiceNow. Is Snow able to action on the incoming tickets incidents without any human intervention, using a large action model, for example? Would it be even considered safe in the foreseeable future?
That's a great question. Actually, two of them. Yes, it is. So we have a demo. We have it really implemented. This is what we are showing to our customer is agent-less tickets, or customers sometimes call it a zero-desk incidents. So they don't want their agents to work on the tickets by human beings, but by bots or by GenAIs. Yes, this is possible. We have done this. Nobody wants that so far because they need to have this human in the loop. When the time comes, let's say, that will allow it end-to-end, it will for sure come. Let's see when it's going to be. And I think it will be different in different countries over the world. So we will see that there will be difference, for example, in Italy, where basically the GenAI capabilities have been banned partially, and it will be different situation, different parts of the world. So let's see.
Okay, a little cliffhanger. And then the last one, is ServiceNow going to become the new SAP?
Or new Salesforce, or new Microsoft. Well, what we see is ServiceNow is a super growing platform. We see that every year it grows by 30 to 40% in their customer base and revenue. So it's a great platform. It's a great place to be. By the way, recruitment team is sitting over there for Slovakia, Accenture. and we see that it's growing well. SAP is a bit different. So maybe, let's say, do we see that Manchester United is becoming, let's say, the new world championship in ice hockey? Probably not. It's a slightly different business. So it's a same industry, it's IT, but it's slightly different industry. Let's see.
Okay, but if you're in the business, be afraid, be very afraid. No? Okay. Yeah. Well, I think seeing it's flipped, we have all the questions. So I'll say thank you so much for the presentation. Get that service now. Thank you so much, Vladimir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.